everyone, welcome back to No Sugar with Everything Krause. Back to my brick wall and back
Where's
to
Kateri?
literally, where is she?
I can't find my sister.
I am missing. You're just hearing me. I'm a ghost. It's spooky season. It's October. No, for real. Like, if you're not watching on YouTube, I'm in a camouflage sweatshirt and once again in front of my brick wall. So I'm like, literally, like the tones, the colors. I'm just full
They're
of camouflage.
perfect. They're matching. It's actually like quite crazy how camouflaged you are with the wall right now. I'm pretty baffled.
Yeah, I probably should have thought about that when I've just been wearing this sweatshirt in all honesty all day long. I'm so freaking cold in our house that like I can't be in normal clothes. Also, I mean, let's be real, like I don't wear any normal
Yeah, I
clothes
know.
during the day. That is another thing that I said to mom yesterday, like I really want to start wearing somewhat decent looking clothes during the day.
But why?
But I know. Because like yesterday, mom and I ran out to mom's organic market to get raw milk. And then we stopped at Marshall's because she was looking for like a pair of jeans that she saw at another Marshall's, whatever. And I'm like, here I am in my sweat set. Like, this is me doing something outside of the home.
I know.
But it doesn't matter because I'm like, I'm going to a grocery store and at Marshall's. Like, I don't care what I'm in.
Yeah, like you'll look cute this weekend when you're in Cape May.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm also just not ever, like, we always say this, but like living at home, I'm just not a put together gal.
No.
Like, I'm really not.
I'm
Like,
so disheveled.
When I lived in Florida alone, I wouldn't say I wore like cute outfits out, but I definitely feel like if I like left the home, I looked a little bit more presentable than I do when I leave home here.
I've gone to Whole Foods in my straight up bedhead pajama set. Like,
No, literally.
not
Like,
even bra on, like tits swinging. That's how little I care when
no,
I'm
for
at
real.
home.
For real. So that's just like one thing that I would love to be that type of gal, but I just, it's not within me in this very moment. Doesn't mean I won't change.
That's another note though, is that I do need you to pack me some, like just one cute presentable outfit for this weekend. Maybe I've been literally here in KMA and I'm like, wow, how cute would it be if I took like a bundled up fall with my new green scarf and my black jacket on the
Cute.
beach with the tripod. I could be taking those photos all the time, but I just literally didn't pack one thing.
Yeah, well, just send me a list, please.
Yeah, because it's frigid. It's frigid here.
Yeah, I know. I need to get my stuff together. I'm actually going to Cape May this weekend. Isabel's there right now. I'm going this weekend, so the weekend before this episode drops. And I'm excited to get out of the house, be in a new place. Tyler and I are going to dinner in Atlantic City, so Cape May's not that close to Atlantic City, but it's closer than I am from Atlantic City right now. Freaking Atlantic City, like pain in the ass.
Pain in
And
the
you know
ass.
what's funny?
You're going to Cape May to go to Atlantic City. What?
No, literally. And you know what's funny is the people who had texted us. It's like there's 3 couples going, so Tyler and I, and then 2 more couples. And the people who texted like planning the dinner live like right near Tyler's parents in Vineland, New Jersey, which like would be way easier for all of them live near there. I'm the outlier here in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I could easily go and stay at Tyler's parents with Tyler and be 5 minutes away from the dinner spot.
Yeah.
Instead, we're all traveling like 40 minutes. We're traveling probably 50 minutes from Cape May to get to dinner. So
Interesting.
it just doesn't logistically make sense. The girl had originally said like, and this is like, no, hey, I'm excited for dinner, and like they're both have been to the restaurant, so like the girls were very excited about it, so I'm excited. But they were originally like, oh, and like we could stay maybe like in Atlantic City, like get a hotel room. And listen, I hate hotels. I hate unnecessarily staying at hotels. 2, there is nothing I hate more than a casino hotel.
I know.
Like, with a burning passion. I could have a whole episode on what I hate about casino hotels. I'm sorry.
Have you ever stayed in one?
Yes.
They're quite fun.
Oh my God, I hate them. They skeeve me out.
I just feel like they're always like, I don't know. I mean, I've never partaken in like the casino aspect of it or that aspect, but like my rooms have always been nice.
That is the thing. They are nicer hotels in terms of like the room, and of course you do have like actually good restaurants in the hotels because they're so big. So it's like normal restaurants in there. So I'm pretty sure the restaurant we're going to is in the Borgata Hotel.
It's so crazy. Like in Atlantic City, everything you go to is just like, oh, it's at this casino. Oh, it's at
Yeah, like that's what I mean. I don't know. It's just like something about it really. It's just I also just don't love hotels. That's why I love the local hotel so much because like it wasn't a hotel. It was like a
Yeah.
so comfortable. Like I appreciate when things are very comfortable because I don't love being in a hotel. It's not my vibe. Anyway, so I was like, I'm not gonna get a hotel room for one night, like in a place where I don't even want to be for
Yeah.
longer than dinner. So peace out. Anyway, so we're going to Cape May. I'm very excited because dinner's not until Saturday night, so we can have like all day Saturday basically.
Yeah. And
And
enjoy,
then
because
part ways with Isabel.
it has been beautiful down here. I will say
Yeah,
it's been
I do.
cold. Sorry. Like
Yeah,
I feel like I'm
apparently the
like,
weather is supposed to go back up though. Like today is really cold, and then apparently it's supposed to go back up like starting tomorrow, like for the weekend. So
all
we'll
right, they
see.
have to stop with this. Like, God.
No, this is what happened. This is literally what happened last year because I remember I took a TikTok
No,
about this topic.
no.
Yeah, it literally stayed warm, and I was almost mad because I had these like fall clothes and jackets that I wanted to wear that you couldn't really wear in the winter, the jackets, because they weren't heavy enough for winter, but they were perfect for fall, and it never really hit that point. It just went from like warm to
Wait,
freezing.
no, yeah, that's what I'm agreeing with. I'm just saying that last year it was warm for like ever. Like it was the end of October and I have a video of me outside of Whole Foods with Kira with and it says like 86 degrees and I
Yeah.
literally posted it on EK and I was like, "Oh my God, it's literally I should be on the beach right now." And it
Mm-hmm.
was the end of October. So that's why I was originally saying no to you because I don't think it got this cold this quickly. It just stayed warm, but you are right. I literally skipped over my fall wardrobe last year. Like I
Yeah.
was in my summer walking clothes and then all of a sudden I was walking with like my big puffer jacket on.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, last year on Halloween, Tyler and I went to Cape May, and during the day we like sat on the beach. Like obviously
Crazy.
normal clothing because I didn't expect it to be that warm, but like we literally sat on the beach for like 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm
It's
like a little
funny.
thrown off this year.
I know. I don't know. That's why I like listen, I love the sun, I love the warm weather, but like especially when I'm in Pennsylvania, I just feel like I'm ready for that crisp air. So I like
Mm-hmm.
kind of like it when it's a little chillier, but I don't know. I'm just indifferent about it. It's also like just making me like it's still dark in the morning, it gets dark early, so it just feels like it's like ready to be cold.
Yeah, I
Whatever.
understand.
Whatever. One more thing I want to say before we get into the actual bulk of this episode. So I was already thinking about the weekend and how I am exhausted this week and just so excited to sleep and not have to wake up crazy early. And then I really started thinking about it. I'm like, you know what sucks about the 75 hard
Hmm.
is when you sleep in, you kind of ruin your day, like specifically on the weekends. Because I'm thinking about like, oh, if I want to sleep in Saturday, like sleep in could range from anywhere from like 8 to 10 a.m. Like I
Mm-hmm.
hope I'm not sleeping past 10 a.m. But like I'm literally so exhausted. I probably could sleep till noon. But then I'm like, okay, we have dinner Saturday night, so then I'm gonna wake up. All I'm gonna be thinking about is my two workouts before we leave for dinner. And I just feel like that is my one thing that I hate about the 75 hard
No, you're
truly.
so right though, because I slept in today. I slept in until 10, which was late, but I texted Kateria and was like, "Oh, OMG,"
It
but
was
like I
like
really
9:30.
was it?
Yeah. It was like me at like 9:35, I feel like.
No, I texted you at like 10. So, yeah, I slept until basically 10 and I had to get going on my run and I knew like my workout was going to be like an hour. So I kind of like take my morning slow too when I sleep in. Like, I don't know, I was just like filming my morning routine, which of course adds like a 15-minute buffer. By the time I was leaving, it was 10:45, get to the boardwalk by 11. 11 to 12 my run. Bam, get home, breakfast, coffee. Now it's 1 p.m. Now I'm doing this project. Oh, now I'm recording for an hour. It's like, where did my day go? Like I'm
I know.
telling you, I because I slept in and I had to get that workout in. I feel like I achieved nothing from that workout to now, and now I already have to do my second workout
Mm-hmm.
before 5:30. Otherwise, it'll be dark. And I'm just like, what did I do today?
Yeah.
Like it's throwing me off. So I understand what you're saying right now, and it makes sleeping in so unenjoyable. It stinks.
Unenjoyable. And that's why people always say like it's better to get more sleep on the front end than the back end. So like going to bed earlier. But I've been teaching every night this week. So by the time I get home and eat dinner and like shower, eat dinner, it's literally 9 p.m. And then I'm like, okay, digesting my food for a hot minute. By the time I get upstairs, brush my teeth, read my 10 pages, do all this stuff, it's like already 10, 10:30, depending on like how late I got home. And then boom, I'm back up at like 5, 5:30, 6. Like that's like my times throughout the week. And I'm just like, how am I supposed to get to bed earlier when I'm like teaching at night? So it's kind of like the sacrifice I'm making. So I'm like, I literally have no choice but to sleep in on the weekend. But I guess Friday night I can go to bed like a little bit earlier, but I don't want to because it's Friday night and then I'm gonna be with you, and I don't want to
Yeah,
go to
like I
bed
want to have
early.
fun. Wait, is
Yeah,
Tyler gonna be down here by Friday?
yeah, he's gonna come down
Oh my
too.
god, we can have like a weekend.
I know. So I
Because
want
I've
to
been here
like.
alone. So listen, I love my alone time, but like I am itching to
I
see
know.
someone that I know.
I'm like kind of excited, and I'm like I feel like me, you, and Tyler are always just kind of like
I know, like I feel
like
like
it.
it's just like that's why I literally
He's like
guys.
I told him I'm like like just something about like being in the Cape May house in the winter. Like I just want to be like cozy almost. So I'm like I
By the way,
have to
bring
bring blankets.
blankets.
Yeah, I'm
Bring
like I gotta bring blankets. He's like, oh, we're gonna make it a cozy, comfortable environment. I'm like, okay,
no,
good. Like
wait,
I don't know how,
literally
but we have to.
literally last night I forced myself to watch a movie on the couch because I was like every night I go upstairs to the room and like tuck myself in, but then I'm not going to bed for like 3 more hours. But I'm
Hmm.
I'm like, all right, this can like be a normal home. Like you sit on the
Yeah,
couch at home, sit on the couch and watch your damn TV. And honestly, I made it comfy. I brought down a blanket.
I think
I got
that's
my
what the
own pillow. Like I like
yeah.
just made it comfy for me. It was actually so comical that you just said that though.
I think that's what we need to do is just like have blankets, our own like comfortable pillows that we like actually want to snuggle on, like not the communal Cape May ones. Like
Wait, guys, also I need to confess something to you right now. It just came across my mind.
let's hear it.
I lied to my professor and I told him that I had the flu and
Oh, you know,
that
it's
I
it's
could
going around right now,
yeah,
so
that I could not go to class. Could he please excuse me from participation? And he emailed back and told me to wear a mask. And I refused to accept that as my fate. So I emailed back and said, no, it's not the concern for other people. It's that I feel like I literally, end quote, feel like I got hit by a truck.
oh my goodness. Oh my
That's what I said
goodness.
to him. And I got out of class. He told me that he would waive the participation credit. And here I am in Cape May still on this Thursday, waiting
Well,
for Kateri to get down here because I just didn't want to leave. And so I just felt the need to say that because if you want to know an NBA update, that's where my head's at.
yeah,
I'm doing
like
anything to miss class. Anything.
because it just didn't make sense for you to come home for it. And listen, the amount of times I've BS'd like things oh my God, in college during COVID, I wanted to get out of work. I used to work at the front desk at the gym, and I emailed and said that my roommates had COVID and I was too scared to spread it. They didn't have COVID. Like
Yeah.
it was fine. She was like, okay, so now you can't work. At the time it was like the 14 days or whatever it was. I'm like, okay, sweet. Like my only source of income, like pennies, literally pennies. And I was like, sweet, I don't have to work. I'm like, you have no money, like work.
Yeah. No,
Anyway,
literally.
so listen, we all do it and it's fine. And I'm
You
very
just
excited.
gotta, I felt so guilty. I apologized to God, but then I was like, I'm literally just using their system to my advantage. It's not my
Yeah.
fault that you guys are all like kind of freaks about sickness in school and
Yeah.
spreading it. Well, rightfully so. Like, I wouldn't want to, like, if a kid came to the class with the flu, I would be pissed because I'd
Yeah.
be
Be
like,
like,
all
what
right,
are you
dude.
doing here?
Yeah.
Go
Like,
home.
what are you doing? Now, I really don't have it, so I could have gone, but like, out of respect.
Yeah. No, you can't get anyone else sick as well.
That's why I was
Better
baffled.
knock on wood and bet your ass you
He,
better not get sick.
he emailed me back, wear a mask. I was like, where was this energy during COVID?
Mm-hmm.
Like, come
Literally.
on. I should have said
Literally.
COVID. They probably would have been like, stay home.
Yeah.
But anywho.
Anywho, let's get into today's episode. So Isabel's smiling because I know she feels almost indifferent about this.
No, I'm smiling because our conversation just reminded me of the topic. Learn when to say no.
Yeah.
I said, no, sir, I am not going.
Yeah, no, I can't come to class. I'm actually putting my foot down and setting my own boundaries here. So basically what we want to talk about today, because I do feel like this is more of a conversation than between both of us than we ever really realized, but it is kind of learning how to say no to people, events, opportunities, jobs, and like any social events, things like that, learning how to say no and being okay with saying no to protect your peace, to not kind of sacrifice like doing something that doesn't feel good for you or align with you. And I feel like I experienced a lot of this when I graduated because, as I've talked about many times, like my lifestyle kind of did a 360 from college to post grad. And, you know, I'm like 3 years post grad now, so I'm not like a recent college graduate, but it was definitely something that I feel like I had to learn. Like, you don't have to say yes to everything, and you don't have to go out of your way to do things with other people that don't feel good for you anymore. Like, you're not offending them because it doesn't feel good for you. You're almost offending yourself more. So that's kind of where this all stems from. But I think it also leads into like more recently with job opportunities. As you guys know, Isabel and I are both entrepreneurs. We don't have like normal typical jobs, so making money can come from a number of different avenues. And that also leads to like getting opportunities and maybe just feeling like you need to say yes all the time to these opportunities just to make more money. And then in the end, like it exhausts you, it drains you, it doesn't really serve you. So I've recently had experience with that, of like saying no to an opportunity just because I knew like deep down it wasn't really, didn't align right. It didn't feel good for me. So I was like, why am I forcing something? But I wouldn't have always done that. You know, why are you laughing at me? Because I'm rambling
You just jumped
right into it. Like,
right in. I'm sorry. I
I
just like
gave
thought you were like
I gave every example that I had for this episode.
Like,
That's it. Thank you for coming.
that is the end of this episode. Thank you. Like, that's literally how I felt it, though. I felt like you just did a great 5-minute grab at everything that we're gonna talk about.
Yeah.
No, I'm happy you introed it that way. I caught myself up looking at you.
Yeah,
and
then,
just
like,
caught
really
myself in the
thinking-
laughter and really thinking about it.
I'm happy that you did that because I like needed something to stop me.
No, but you were on such a great avenue. It's just
Yeah.
normally, maybe that's how we need to podcast
Yeah.
that efficiently. Like normally we get in, that would have taken 35 minutes to talk through.
I know. I
So
just
maybe
wanted
that's
to
better.
like set it up that it wasn't only like saying no to like friends or to like social events, because it's more so just in life in general.
No, I like that you did
Yeah.
that. I'm sorry to interrupt everyone.
No,
I'm sorry to
no,
interrupt the
please.
flow.
Thank you. Thank you.
You can continue.
Anyway.
Holy shit, I can't believe that.
Okay, so just to keep it going on my ramble, but I feel like a good place to actually start with this is if you are listening to this from more of like a friendship perspective, social events perspective, even I guess even in your job, I think you need to take a step back in your life and almost ask yourself like what makes you feel good and what makes you feel bad. And I think how you determine that is like when you're at an event or when you're hanging out with certain people. Do you leave there feeling like your cup is filled or like it's drained and you just need to go to bed immediately because you're just mentally exhausted? And I think that's a good way of determining, oh, if something makes you feel good or bad, because the people that make you feel good, the opportunities that make you feel good, everything, you're going to leave like amped up almost and like ready to like hit the ground running. And that happens to Iswell and I all the time. Like when something happens that is really good or we're like at an event that feels really good, we literally leave and like our minds are moving a mile a minute and you can tell like the energy is high and we were aligned with whatever it was we were doing, or when we're around people that are aligned with us. So I feel like you just need to sit back and kind of ask yourself like, okay, who are the people in my life that maybe don't make me feel the best? Like, are these friendships serving me anymore? And if not, like, that's okay. You're allowed to move on from people and kind of say no to more events with them and maybe say yes to events with them or like social gatherings with them that align a little bit more with what you like to do as well. I feel like that's kind of what I've done, is cater some of the things to a little bit more of what I like, since I don't like going out and like drinking every weekend. I don't like going to the bars and like staying out late. Like that is not what I want to do. So it's more so like, hey, do you want to go on a walk? Or if like, you know, go get lunch together or just like go out to dinner and then it's like we're done. That is more so like what I'm saying yes to and more no to the other things.
Yeah, that makes sense. I also think sometimes you need to say yes to figure out what is your no. You know what I mean? Like to figure out what your threshold is, because sometimes you may not realize when you need to say no. And I have a classic example of this. It was senior year, like Drexel last year. And it actually wasn't even like any of the girls at Drexel. It was like kind of like a random group, not normally like my typical group that I was hanging out with. And I remember they were having a wine night and I was like, let me push myself and like, let me go and like have this girls' wine night. I feel like I always say no to these things. And I went and it literally was immediate justification of like why I should have said no. And like because I said yes, I realized that from now on I will say no because it didn't serve me. And for that purpose in particular, it was literally straight gossip. And maybe I should have known that going into a girls' wine night. But like I said, I'm not really that type of girl. So I kind of expected like, oh, a fun girls' night. But when it was just consistent conversation, literally about other people, like it physically made me uncomfortable being there. Like I was like, I want to stick up for all these people that they're talking about. I'm feeling very uncomfortable. Like, it just placed me in a position where I didn't feel like I was now being my best version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I left that wine night and said to myself, I think I called mom right away and was like, because mom was like shocked that I went. And I called her and said, I will never go again.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that I made like that snap judgment. It's just I'm not going to place myself in that position again where it didn't fuel me. And I feel like that's a great example of where I had to say yes to learn that it would have been no, because I feel like if I had said no from the bat, maybe I would have been beating myself up for never trying or never attempting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is
Yeah,
good
like
to try and
exactly.
learn that it's not for you.
Mm-hmm. Because then you don't know what you don't know. So if you're not there, like you don't know that's what is kind of happening when they're all doing that, and then you kind of create like this own FOMO of like, oh shit, like I should have gone, or like I want more like friends or whatever it is, and then you almost wish that you were there, but if you had known what was going on, like you would never wish you were there.
No,
Like now
literally. Like,
moving forward.
I literally did not have FOMO for the rest of the year. I actually
Yeah.
was like removed from the group chat eventually, and like
Yeah.
I literally couldn't I literally didn't care because I was like, yeah, rightfully so. Like, you guys know I
Mm-hmm.
don't align with you. I can see how
Yeah.
you don't want me in the group chat, and to be honest, I don't really want to be in the group chat either.
Yeah. I know.
Like, it was just like a split that needed to happen. It just
Mm-hmm.
wasn't aligned.
For sure. I do feel like people, like another thing that comes with like saying no is almost like the guilt that people feel too. Like I know I experience this too. If I tell someone no, one, it like always takes me a little bit longer to like send that message. Like if it's a yes, it's like a quick answer almost. And then
Hmm.
when I'm like declining something, that's when I'll like take a little bit longer, like really try and think about my words. When in reality, it should be able to just be like a simple, like, that's not really like what I'm into right now, but thank you for the offer. Or you can say it in like a really nice way of just like no, instead of lying about something and like, oh, I
Hmm.
can't do it. Just like straight up being like, thank you for thinking of me. Like, not something I'm interested in all honesty. Like, I think people would appreciate that honesty, but people
Do you think
almost
you would like place yourself in that position? Do you think you would be happy to get a no?
not happy to get a no, but if I invited someone to something, like say I invited someone to a workout class and they had answered and was like, thank you for thinking of me and reaching out. Honestly, working out is not my thing, and said no, I think I would appreciate their honesty and be like, yeah, I wouldn't want someone there that feels uncomfortable or like this is just
Yeah,
not their
true.
vibe at all. You know, I know like a workout event is like a little
No,
different
but
than
that's
like
a great example because we can't assume that that is everyone's vibe or what they want to be
no,
doing. So,
exactly. Like some people would prefer for us to like go get drinks together and talk. Like I would prefer to talk to someone like after a workout class, like over a cup of coffee or
hmm,
at a lunch. Like I'm good with that, and I enjoy sober interaction way more than I do intoxicated interaction
yeah,
these
no,
days. But
literally.
so I feel like people just, I don't know, like we have to get more comfortable with saying no and allowing ourselves to like not feel guilty. Like I don't know, I just like I have been there so many times where I'm like, oh, I feel so bad for saying no to that person. And it's like, why? Why are you sacrificing what you feel to please someone else? And maybe that comes with some people pleasing as well. Like you don't need to sacrifice what your values are for someone else's life because it's your own life. Like you're your own
Yeah.
main character. Don't
Yeah,
worry about them.
we're also assuming that we're the main character in their life almost because if us saying no has that much weight that like we're so scared to say it, it's like,
Exactly.
all right, like they have a life, they have other friends that they can
Yeah.
talk to. Like,
We're
it's
not
not
like the
all on
only
your back.
people. Yeah, we're not the only people they invited or talked to or about this. Like the event or the social gathering does not depend on our presence. So I
Yeah.
think you're right. Like it
Now
adds.
if it does, now if it
Yeah.
does, you should probably just go.
Yeah.
Go for the sake of them.
Yeah, for real. For real.
Coming off that discussion of having to say no to people, I also think it's important to note that it is your right to say no in a sense because at sometimes you really do need to protect your peace and protect yourself from energy that is not going to better you. Like from that example I just shared, I needed to say no, no matter if it hurt them or not. Like if I kept going to those wine nights, I was going to become a worse version of myself. I was going to become a gossiper. I was going to be embodying a person that I'm not. It would really be like dulling my sparkle almost and not really allowing me to embrace my full potential.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so important to recognize that like you need to protect your peace from other people. And that sounds so harsh, but it's just like the reality. You know what I mean?
No,
I
for
have a
sure.
quote going off that from Kenzie Burke. If you guys have been following her, her Monday musings are they
So
are
good.
hitting. Like I literally love them. And she posted this and I just feel like I loved what this said. I don't know why. It says, I closed off all easy roads leading to me, but I'm reachable if you're willing to go the extra mile. And I felt like I just loved that because I am a very, like, I do think I'm a very different person and I have my own standards for myself. And what I realized is that I don't fall below my own standards. And when I do, I make sure to correct myself to get above my standards again. So if I'm holding myself to be at this position to meet these certain standards, then I should be holding every single other person in my life at those standards as well, because
Mm-hmm.
they need to be at that level too. Like, that's what I expect of myself. That's what I should expect of the energy around me. And that quote just reminded me of that, because the people that normally do surround me and that are in my circle really do go that extra mile, not only just on my standards board, but in the sense of like reaching out and saying like, oh, congrats on 20K,
Mm-hmm.
or saying, hey, I'm thinking of you, I'm praying for you, Izzy, how's your Wednesday? Like, those people go the extra mile to talk to me, to communicate with me, to just be a person that I need in my life. I don't really know how to describe it. I feel like I'm a very private person. As much as you guys think you know, there's a lot that you don't know about me. And I always say like, privacy is, it's so funny. Like, people think they know everything, but they really don't. Like, you can
Mm-hmm.
choose what people get to know, and you can choose to make them think they know a lot so that they don't want more. It sounds like a mind game. I don't really know where I'm going with that tangent, but
Well, that's
anyway,
what
I'm
social
just,
media does,
yeah,
though.
that's just
It's like,
social media.
yeah.
I'm just ultimately a very private person deep down, and my friends know that, and they go the extra mile in order to work with me and be that friend, and accept that I may not be the best texter. They accept that I may not share, and they may have to be the one to ask, but they meet those standards. I don't know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to say. Does that make
Well,
sense?
yeah, no, it does, and it allows you to decide like where to put your energy. Like, you know, the people that are going to do that, and you know that answering those messages, answering those calls, taking an hour out of your day to talk to them on the phone, go on a walk, it is worth your time and energy, because they also give you that time and energy as well. So it's almost like an energy exchange where you know it's going to make you feel good. I think not everyone deserves access to all of your energy if they're, like you said, not willing to go the extra mile. Like, if they're not willing to be the ones to text you or to actually like ask you on a deeper level or congratulate you on your successes, like, you don't owe them your energy and access to all of you, like what's
Mm-hmm.
going on in your mind. And I think that's one of the biggest things with social media that's like kind of a balancing act. I think we experience that a lot, is what is like too much to share and what is not enough to share. Like, where is like the where do we draw the line? Because I want to be very open and honest with people and kind of like show them the ins and outs of our life, but at the same time, not all of these people that follow us deserve our energy, because
Yeah.
I don't even know them. I don't know them. So why am I going to give out all my energy? And it could be people that you do know too, that know you on a deeper level, or that knew you in freaking high school. Like, that's the thing. We have a lot of people that follow us from high school and college, and the lifestyle that we were living in high school and college is different than now. So it's like, we don't align anymore, and that's all right. But then I don't owe you everything about my life. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
don't get to know the ins and outs of like what's going on in here.
Well, and I will say something that I've learned through that is really, I almost took it as like, because I don't know how to say this, is I kind of let that work against me in a sense where, because I was giving, not was giving too much information, but I thought that I needed to let everyone know me. Like, I thought I needed to answer every message. I thought I needed to get back to every single person within 30 minutes. I almost started not answering anyone. Like, my friends from high school, I've had a very mature conversation with them about it, where I've improved so much, but I remember I kind of went like mute in our like best friend group chat from high school for a bit. And when I reflect on it, I went kind of mute on everyone, because I just was like, oh my god, like, I can't be giving my energy like this, like, to my phone all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really because I was giving my energy to people who didn't need to receive the energy, and like, that group chat was valid of receiving the energy. And now that I've said no to like limiting myself to who does hear from me, it's so much easier for me to communicate and to keep in touch with them. It's like what you say, like, some people really are worth your time, and they are great friends that I want to read their messages. I want to listen to their voice memos. I want to hear about their day. And now I can share about my day too, but I'm not overextending myself with other people that
Mm-hmm.
really aren't in my circle anyway, where I
Yeah.
was earlier, and it led to me not answering any of my best friends.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm at a much better place now of even just giving my energy to truly who I want to give my energy to, and who values me giving my energy to them as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I feel like that allows you and anyone to view saying no as a positive, and it allows you, like you said, it gave you more energy to be able to put it and fuel the and water the relationships that you actually did care about.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of like draining you completely, it allows you to see new friendships, new conversations, new opportunities. Like saying no allows for more room for the things that actually will serve you and
Yeah.
that you actually align with. And I think that's one of the greatest things. What I said in the beginning about I got a job opportunity recently and I kept like going back and forth with it. And I was like, I don't really know if this is something that like aligns with my vision for my future in terms of like where I'm going in the fitness industry, entrepreneurial. Like, I don't know if this actually makes sense. Right. And it took me a while to kind of come up with like what to say to this woman who I was talking to. And I got on a call with her and I was very honest with her, but also didn't give her everything that I was thinking, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it took a lot for me to say no. And it's kind of crazy. Like in saying no, it left more room to say yes to opportunities that did align with me.
Yeah.
And now at the time I was like so scared of saying no to that because I'm like, it's an extra X amount of dollars a week that I could really use right now. And instead, that opportunity I said no to, and three more opportunities came in replace of that. And now I'm making more than I would have there because I allowed for more opportunities to come in. So I feel like you also can view saying no as a real positive and it benefits you. And it's almost allowing your mind and like your heart to be more open to things. I feel
Yeah.
like when you say no, like you said, you're getting rid of the BS and like the overcrowdedness that's in your mind or in your life. And it makes more room for things that make you feel good.
Yeah. And it also makes you operate better. Like because you said no to that job opportunity, you are a better teacher for J Town. You're a better teacher for Sanctuary because you're
Mm-hmm.
not burning yourself out and running yourself like thin across so many different places.
Mm-hmm.
You can now prioritize the places that matter to you. Just like how
Yeah.
I stop texting like all those random people, like now I can prioritize working on the relationships that matter to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it really is a win. Saying no is not always negative. I feel like that's a misconception that we need to clear up. It does
Mm-hmm.
not have to be negative. It is such a negative. It sounds so negative, the word no.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny.
No, it is. And I do think there is benefit to saying yes to things. And we've talked about this like off screen, but on the toast. So actually like almost a year ago, I remember Claudia it was one of her New Year's resolutions like last year or 2 years ago to say yes to more things because she lives in New York City and she got like so comfortable saying no. And she was like, there are sometimes when no is valid and sometimes when yes is valid. And kind of what you're saying, like you'll never know if the no is right until you say yes a couple times, but I just do feel like there is benefit in also putting yourself out there to say yes to more things in life.
100%. I think that's actually something that I struggle with in my mind sometimes because there are moments and sometimes it's just a feeling when you know, but there are moments especially within that senior year where I'm like, should I be pushing myself outside of my comfort zone and
Mm-hmm.
saying yes right now? And ultimately that's what made me say yes to the wine night is because I had that exact thought and was like, I don't know, you've never even given these girls a shot. And because I said yes, I found out that it was a no. And I
Mm-hmm.
just feel like it's hard to find that happy medium of what you should say yes to, especially when we live like you said, I have standards for myself, so oftentimes the things that I say no to don't meet my standards, and it's kind of like, were you harsh on that? Like just because you don't drink doesn't mean that you can't go to a random person's birthday party and hang out with friends there that really do fill up your cup. Like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes I
Mm-hmm.
find myself saying no to events just because I'm like, well, I'm not a drinker. I'm not a partier. But it's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, who's going to that event? You could have a
Mm-hmm.
fun time sober. Like go show off that stigma that like just because you don't drink doesn't mean you can't have fun. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like that's a moment where I'm like, okay, I should push myself and go out and say yes. So I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Basically, I struggle with this a lot is finding the happy medium of when to say yes and when to say no because I feel like I do reside more on the no side.
Mm-hmm.
I
Well, and it's
do often
easy.
say no.
Yeah, it's easy to get comfortable in whatever you're used to doing. So, like, if you're more so on the no side, you get comfortable saying no and not pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone to do more things.
Yeah.
And then same thing, like if you're always saying yes, like as crazy as it sounds, you do get comfortable saying yes. Like it's just like your norm to say yes and like do all these things and like be drained physically, mentally, and like go home and be like literally have 0% left on your battery.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of just have to find the balance between the two. And it's putting yourself outside of your comfort zone. And I even think about the stay local thing when we reached out to him and like got invited for a split second, at least for me personally. I don't know if Iswell felt this way, but there was like something in my mind that was like, do we want to do this? Like,
Mm-hmm.
do I want to be somewhere like creating content like during the week where I might be like uncomfortable? I don't know anyone else going. We don't have as many followers as the other people going. Like, there was moments of doubt in my mind where I, for a split second, I was just like, wait, this might not be worth our time, right? Of course, it turns out that it was well worth our time, and it was such an amazing experience. We met all these amazing people. Like, I will never forget that moment. And we had a whole
Mm-hmm.
episode about that where we talked about it. But for a split second, I thought about the no, and it didn't last long, but saying yes wasn't as comfortable as saying no was. So
Yeah.
then putting ourselves in that yes situation did turn out, it left room for like so much more, and also now opened our eyes to, okay, any other opportunities that come our way. Of course, kind of assess the opportunities, but saying yes to things that come into your life can really benefit you. So don't immediately like knock it until you try it.
Yeah. I feel like a good tip to practice when deciding if you want to say yes or no is to really break down both decisions and what will you get out of saying yes?
Mm-hmm.
What will you get out from saying no? What would be the negative part of saying yes? What would be the negative part of saying no? And what I mean that is like you kind of force yourself to realize, am I saying no because I'm being lazy right now?
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of staying in my comfort zone? Or am I saying no because this genuinely is not going to better me as a person? And like in that moment, Kateri, if I were weighing the pros and cons of local, I would be like, I want to say no because I don't feel like being at a place with other people and having my social
Laziness.
battery turned on. I don't feel like creating content. Like that was laziness. That was us saying no because we didn't feel like doing something. And that when you realize that that's your reason for no, it almost motivates me to be like, okay, then I have to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what forces me is like, you got to get outside of your comfort zone. Whereas I keep bringing it back to the wine night, but it's just the most simple explanation to me where I was thinking about the next time going. And like when I did weigh the pros and cons, I was like, big con of going is that I don't like who I am when I'm around those girls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's not me being uncomfortable. That's not me being lazy. That's me choosing to protect myself.
Yeah.
And
not
there's a difference between
sacrifice
that. Yeah.
yourself.
So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when you really break down like the yes and the no, the decision becomes very clear to you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good way to balance it.
I think that's an amazing, honestly, amazing piece of advice, because when you look at both, you're able to think more clearly. If everything's kind of jumbled up, you can't really decide and like know how you feel. I also think going off of that, your gut probably knows what you should do as well. Like your
Yeah.
gut intuition is speaking to you, but sometimes like weighing out the pros and cons allows you to think more clearly and really listen to what your intuition is telling you, because there's a lot of different factors that will mess up like what that gut feeling is, and knowing if it's saying yes or no. It's like, well, what is it actually telling me? Like, I don't know how to like listen to my own body telling me what to do. But I think when you put it out, either literally like type it out in your notes, put it on pen and paper, or just like say it out loud to yourself, I think when you get it out of your mind, it allows you to really like tap into what the best decision is there for you.
Yeah.
Even though we don't align with this, you can take a sip of your drink every time we say no. Or better yet, do a bicep curl every time we say no.
Yeah,
That's more
let's
in
do
line
that.
with-
Every
like,
time
do a push up.
Yeah. Push up for full body. Every time we said no in this episode, do a push up. Every time we said yes, do tricep dips.
Oh, I like that. I like that, really hitting the triceps.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun little game. Anyway, so I feel like this is always a learning curve and kind of a learning experience as well. Like there's honestly, like I know there's opportunities that I don't even have to say yes or no to because they're not presented to me yet. Like there's things that as I will go on in life, like I know more is going to happen, where especially in like a social scene, like I might have to say no to people and like really practice what I'm preaching right now. So it's always about like learning and growing. And that's exactly why, of course, as always, we wanted to talk about this with you. Isabel did I have more words to say.
I always do that. I don't know why I don't just like interject.
Let me take a
like,
sip of my spindrift.
If you guys, Katiri's a spindrift girly now.
If you have not, I have no nails. I broke them all off. If you have not had a spindrift, I don't know if they're like everywhere. I think they are.
Anya loves spindrift.
Because
That's so funny.
They're flavored with like actual, like this is carbonated water, raspberry puree, and lime juice. So it's not like artificial flavors.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why the spindrift is literally so good. Like I'm not drinking. I'm avoiding water at all costs, of course, as always. So this is like my new, like literally I've had it every day at the same time. I'm like, I went into bed, I'm like, oop, it's Spindrift o'clock.
Oh, I like that.
Driving
That's
to
fun,
the studio
though.
yesterday to teach Pilates. I'm like, let me grab a Spindrift for the drive.
That's so fun. Like, I'm
Yeah, I
looking
feel
for a
like I'm
beverage
like
like
a
that.
soda gal. You know, like all the people that are normalizing drinking soda throughout your day. Yeah, that's how I feel.
Anyway, I was raising my hand because I have more to say. Fuck, I literally forget it. Everyone, I forget what I had to say because Kateri and I started talking about soda, and I'm really upset that I forget about it because it felt like just felt like something really important to say. Like, I literally raised my hand and was like, I need to share this revelation I just had in my mind, but I forget it. So crazy how the mind works.
What people don't talk about with podcasting is you will think that you have something to say, and it will disappear the second you go to open your mouth.
It
Like
sucks,
you'll be like,
though.
I have an amazing statement, and it just goes. And then you're like, now my brain is lost. I have nothing else. No other words are existing in there. So it sucks.
Yeah, I'm pissed off. I'm literally pissed off right now. Like,
Yeah.
it felt like my best thought of the entire episode. It felt like the only thought that I was truly, purely confident in.
9 times out of 10 when Isabel says that, I'm back editing, and like she'll then listen to the episode, like, and she's like, oh, I actually did end up saying that throughout it.
No, but this was something that I was like, ooh, new thought way. New thought
Okay,
pattern.
well, let's just
Bye, guys. Now I don't have anything to say goodbye.
Alrighty, so Isabel, what's something that they can say yes to today? How about we end it?
Say yes to being No Sugar's #1 fan because it will serve you well. It will better you. This is an example of exercising yes that you'll realize that you made the right choice, that you should say yes from now on because No Sugar is just a great community to be a part of. But anyway, subscribe to this YouTube video, like the video, comment on the video, follow us on Instagram, follow everything Krause on Instagram as well.
And TikTok.
Yeah, and TikTok. We are being active on TikTok. Kateri mainly. I'm trying to get a part of it.
Every
I
single
don't
day
know.
for 90 days. I can't be tamed.
I don't know what the thing is with TikTok that I just have like a block. Like I'm just like I don't like this app.
3 TikToks in the drafts ready to go.
I have a ton of content that I filmed primarily for TikTok, like a day in the life, and I just like go to do it and I'm like, ugh, I feel like you literally ruin production. I think I'm an Instagram fiend because I love Instagram's not the most friendly user platform, but I am really starting to fall in love with the editing process on Instagram. Like adding the text and how you can zoom and shorten it. Like, TikTok is just like I can't get the text to go on Instagram. I adjust the size of the font with that little thing.
But like
TikTok, it's like, nope, it has to be 3 lines. I'm like, I don't want it to be 3
raw
lines.
and unfiltered, no lines, no text. You know?
I hate it.
Well, don't say that because our phones are listening and we're trying to grow on there. It's like we grew on the wrong platform.
Y'all, Kateri and I grew on single-handedly.
There is nothing more humbling than going to our Instagram page and seeing the followers just continuously going up, and then going to that TikTok page and having 117 followers.
Yeah.
But it's humbling.
But we're gonna grow. We're gonna learn that algorithm. I think Instagram was an important algorithm to learn and master because I think that's where a lot of I just did a market research today, Kateri, actually. Like, side note, I was reading an article, but it was that influencer marketing, like the most important social media channel is actually Instagram over TikTok. And I was like, okay, it's not always that we grew it on Instagram because that's where a lot of brand deals will come. And I think our personal element will just help us build our community on TikTok. Yeah. So TikTok is more to make money just by being viral.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. But yes, so if you're not already, please go follow us on TikTok. You can see a lot of other like very unfiltered, like not produced in any way really content, which is fun. So you can kind of get to know Isabel and I more on a behind the scenes POV, I feel like it is. And yeah, so if you're
They're crazy. Like, Kateri, if you posted that one video that you sent me,
I'm going to. I'm just waiting for the go ahead.
Really?
That's the thing with TikTok is I feel so unhinged that like I literally couldn't care less what we post, and like I don't care.
No, it's not that it's that I don't know. I say some things in that.
Yeah, I know, but like that's us. This is real. This is me. I'm exactly who I'm supposed to be. Thank you, Demi.
True. I don't know. I was rolling. I was quite literally in tears throughout the entire video. I couldn't believe that we filmed that. I was like, when did this take place?
Whenever I need to pick me up, I go watch that video.
Yeah. It's hysterical.
Anyway, let's have salad now. Anyway,
you're on one.
Yeah, let's wrap up this episode, please. Like, I gotta go teach another class tonight. Like, I can't. I just need sleep.
I need to go
Yeah.
stream.
Everyone else
Bye.
savasana. Everyone else savasana tonight. We're just laying down on the floor. I'll play some calming music. Just kidding. Anyway, thank you guys for listening in to an all over the place episode. We started crazy, like sandwiched it with some content, and ended it crazy.
I'm
So,
feeling crazy. Like, I hope we gave you guys value in this episode.
We
Let
did.
us
I know we
know.
did because I have full confidence in us. So don't even doubt us. Like, I know we're spitting facts. Anyway, hope you have an amazing rest of your day, an amazing rest of your week, and we will see you next time.